Hi everyone, welcome to Cbse. This is Ravindra Chandra. In this lecture, we will discuss about Class 10 Cbse Social Science, Geography first lesson, resources and development. In continuation with the last lecture, we will discuss about this development of resources. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about resources, or you can say how resources classified based on the status of development. In that, we have seen what are these potential resources, what are these developed resources, what is stock, what is reserve. In continuation with that, this lecture we will see about this development of resources. So as I told in the first lecture itself, when we were discussing this lesson, most of the people what they think that resources are free gifts of nature. That means they feel that whatever the resources that are available in our environment or whatever the things that we are getting, they feel that they are all free gifts of nature. So because of that, what people have done is that they started using these resources indiscriminately. That means without having any limit, without having any control, they started using resources in a unlimited manner, or you can say overuse of resources. And because of this overuse of resources, there are certain problems we are facing in the present day. So what are these problems which we are facing because of indiscriminate use of resources or because of overuse of resources? So the first and foremost consequence is that depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. Depletion of resources means the resources are day by day they are getting reduced. Why? Because very few people in the society they are having total control over these resources. And what these people are doing is that in order to grow more and more, in order to grow richer and richer, what they have done is that they started extracting more and more amount of resources. And because of this, the resources are getting decreased day by day, or they are getting depleted day by day. Then next change is that next what happened is that accumulation of resources in few hands, which divides the society into haves and have-nots. That means when resources are there in a fewer hands, for example, if this is society, and in this these people are having resources, these people are not having resources. So therefore the society is divided, saying that these people are haves, these people are not having or have nots. And at the same time, this also divides the society into rich and poor. So why it is dividing the society is because very few people are controlling these resources and they are not giving the resources to other group of people. So that is why rich are becoming more richer and the poor are getting more poorer. Then third very important consequence because of overuse of resources is that it led to global ecological crisis, which means day by day our environment is getting damaged, or you can say it is getting polluted. Why? Because if we use these resources more and more, the environment will be damaged. Because we have seen every day nowadays there is something global warming which is an alarming situation in this present day situation. Why? Because you all know the day by day the temperatures are increasing very high and high, and if this goes on, if the temperatures keep on increasing, what happens is that the ice which is there in the on the this earth, this will start melting, and if this ice melts slowly, half of the world will be under the water or will be submerged under this water. Then this next thing is ozone layer depletion. That means again because of this overuse of resources, for example overuse of coal and petrol, it is leading to more and more heat, and that automatically leading to this depletion of ozone layer. And the very common problem, you all know, this pollution and land degradation, which is also happening due to this overuse of resources. So in order to avoid these problems, in order to solve these problems, what we are supposed to go is that we should have something resource planning. That means we should try to use resources in a planned manner, and at the same time we should follow something known as this sustainable development. So we will see what is resource planning in the next lecture. At present, we will see what we mean by this sustainable development. What is sustainable development? why we have to follow this sustainable development. Sustainable development means simply the definition goes like this: development without damaging the environment and saving the resources for future generation. That means day by day we have to develop, but this development should not damage the environment in any cause, in any way. It should not cause damage to the environment, and at the same time we are also supposed to save the resources for our future generation. It is not that we have to enjoy all the resources and we should not give any kind of resources to. It is not like that. We have to save these resources for future generation. So simply sustainable development means the development without damaging the environment and saving the resources, conserving the resources for future generations. Then in order to go for this sustainable development, in the year 1992, for the first time on the globe, there was something known as Earth Summit, which has taken place in Rio de Janeiro, which is located in Brazil. And this Earth Summit is known as this first international Earth Summit, which happened in the year 1992. And the number of countries participation was almost more than 100 countries have participated in this Earth Summit, which was held in the year 1992. Then, what was the main objective of this Earth Summit? Why it happened? Why it occurred is the main objective was that to address the problems of environment and socio-economic development. Address the problems of environment means, just now as I mentioned, because of this overuse of resources, we are facing certain environmental problems. It may be global warming, maybe pollution, it may be ozone layer depletion, or it may be land degradation. So, in order to solve these problems, they have conducted this Earth Summit. Then, next thing, they have also decided to control this or socio-economic development. That means they were trying to eradicate diseases, they were trying to eradicate this poverty. So this is, and at the same time they are trying to ensure that education is compulsory, it is reaching to each and every person in this world. So when it comes to socio-economic problems, they were trying to address poverty, disease, as well as education. And when it comes to environment, they were trying to address the problems like pollution, land degradation, global warming and all. Then all these 100 countries, more than 100 countries, they have signed on an agreement known as this global climate change as well as biological diversity. Global climate change means how the climate is changing, what kind of measures we should take in order to prevent this climate change. Then in that Earth Summit itself, they have also adopted something known as Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. So this summit, it happened in the 20th century, but they have adopted certain measures for 21st century. So in the next lecture, we will see what is this Agenda 21, what were the change, what were the objectives taken in this Agenda 21. So in the next lecture, we will see what is this Agenda 21. So if we can quickly recap what we have discussed, if we use more and more resources indiscriminately, or if we overuse resources, what happens? It reduces the resources, divides the society, rich and poor. Then it also causes for this global ecological change. Then we should follow this sustainable development, and the very important thing is Earth Summit, which happened in the year 1992. So in the next lecture we will see about Agenda 21. Thank you.